Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up in our news tonight, travel numbers taking off according to the Minister of Tourism. Plans on the way to revamp BAMSI. Promotions on the way for the police force. Students of UB could be returning to face-to-face learning. And Doctors Hospital looking to expand to the nation's second city. Welcome to our news, the weekend edition, and thanks for joining us. I'm Georgie O'Bain, topping news tonight. Tourism Minister Chester Cooper encouraged by the increase in cruise ship visitor arrivals. This as 5 cruise ships were in the port of Nassau at the same time for the first time since cruise lines suspended sailing. It's a good time for tourism in the country, with there being a lot of pent-up demand for travel. Cooper anticipates that by December, tourism numbers could mirror about 95% of 2019's numbers.
It's frankly quite exciting to see 5 cruise ships in the harbor. It's the most ships we've had since the pandemic, since cruising started again in earnest, and it was pretty exciting for us. This is the signal of a great rebound of our tourism industry. Our product is strong. We're back to about 80% of our pre-pandemic guests, with very positive forward bookings moving forward.
While Cooper says the Nassau Cruise Port project will undoubtedly enhance the tourism product, he calls on Bahamians to do their part in boosting the tourism product as well.
We are calling, though, for our vendors, Bahamians everywhere, to participate in helping to make our tourist product more future-proof. We do need more entertainment. We need more cultural activities for our guests. We need more bars, more restaurants, more things for our tourists to do. And of course, our property managers or owners on Bay Street can help by beginning the restoration of their buildings and converting those buildings into a more presentable environment for our tourists.
Cooper called the state of some downtown properties embarrassing and said it's his hope to meet with property owners to stress the need to improve the appearance.
I want to meet in due course with property owners to really impress on their minds the need for us to really see a revamping of Bay Street. I believe it's a sore point for our industry. It's the subject of many complaints by our guests. It's really very dilapidated and quite frankly embarrassing. So hopefully over the next few weeks, we'll meet with property owners to see what we can do to get Bay Street going again.
Well, the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Institute may be due for a facelift, according to the Member of Parliament for North Andros and the Berry Islands, who says he has plans in the works.
We're going to work hand in hand with government and also the University of Bahamas to bring the most of a BAMSI. It needs a facelift, of course. It's not where it needs to be. And hopefully under our administration, we look forward to bring its full potential.
First-time MP Leonardo Lightbourne says he has many plans in the pipeline for his constituency, including several roadworks projects.
For North Andros and also the Berry Islands, we see we are in a health pandemic at the moment. So the clinics is very paramount right now to having that initiative done infrastructures. We also have docks and so forth that needs to be in place. And down in Berry Islands, the roads, that's a major infrastructure that needs to be in place.
Lightbourne reassures residents that while he may not be present on the island at the time, he is working on their behalf.
I want the constituency to know that their Member of Parliament is in process of putting some things on the ground. We're now looking at BAMSI as a unit and as a whole, and we have an official meeting coming up next week to tour the grounds and also to do some administrative work in the constituency. So I want them to know that I may not be present at the moment, but I'm working behind the scenes. The work has begun. We are now in office and we're just now trying to clear some desks and settle up some things.
Promotions are on the way for the Royal Bahamas Police Force. National Security Minister Wayne Munro would not say exactly when, but says very soon. His comments came while responding to questions over whether there will be any upcoming changes to the top brass of the police force.
I know that there is a promotional exercise that has long been awaited by the police. And I know that in the ranks of inspector and above, there will be promotions.
Where's the promotions coming?
I would think shortly, imminently.
There have been reports that just before last month's general election, some officers were notified that they were promoted only to be called back moments later and informed that it wasn't the case. Police Commissioner Paul Roll was asked about this past week.
Only one person can do promotion, and that is the commissioner. I didn't call nobody and tell them they were promoted. But I think that there was some information. But I want the police officers to hold on and hold fast. Okay, promotions will come, and I'll announce promotions soon.
While infection rates of COVID-19 in men and women are similar, men of a certain age group are dying at a higher rate than their female counterparts. That's according to the Pan American Health Organization's director, Dr. Carissa Etienne. Dr. Etienne gave an analysis of the case rates and mortality in the region.
Men have been more susceptible than women, and that the largest number of deaths occur in the 65 to 74-year age bracket.
The region of Latin America and the Caribbean was hit particularly hard by the pandemic. The Economic Commission of Latin America and the Caribbean estimates that 9% of jobs in the region were lost during the pandemic, and women in particular lost their jobs and were unable to return to the job market because of demands at home. This as the region struggles with vaccine access and uptake. Approximately 39 out of every 100 people in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean are vaccinated.
26% of countries and territories in America have already immunized 40% of their vaccination target. You will recall that this is a target set by the Director General of WHO, that by the year end, 40% of people will be covered by vaccines.
PAHO member states with the highest vaccination rates are Uruguay and Chile with 74%, Canada with 71%, Panama with 59%, and the USA with 56%. When our news weekend returns, the Vice President of UB hopeful for in-person learning by spring, and Doctors Hospital heading to the nation's second city. That and more when our news weekend returns.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
University of the Bahamas students are in virtual learning for another semester, but UB Vice President of Operations Ronnie Stevenson says he hopes students can resume face-to-face instruction by January. As it stands, only select practical courses have been allowed in-person learning.
Depends on how it looks throughout the country. If the infection rates go down and more people are vaccinated, then we would be ready and willing to open up as soon as possible. We have very limited face-to-face instruction. We have the nursing students that are doing face-to-face. We have also the culinary arts students, and we have some physical education students who are doing face-to-face. Other than that, that's it. We're doing everything virtually, and but we're hoping to get back face-to-face sometime early next year.
Stevenson admits that there have been some challenges, but students have gotten the hang of the virtual learning experience. Still, he says nothing beats face-to-face learning.
I think first going off, there was a bit, rough. But we've had some surveys done since then, where a number of students have settled in comfortably with the virtual. Of course, there are some who want to come back because they want to be amongst the community. But they're settling in. It's much more easier this semester than it was, of course, earlier in the spring of this year.
Doctors Hospital's Northern Bahamas flagship facility is entering the construction planning phase with a completion date of fall 2022, according to Chief Financial Officer Dennis DeVoe. During his virtual presentation at Abaco Business Outlook, DeVoe said that the facility will accommodate roughly 30 beds.
The hospital at this point has been designed. What that means is that every floor, has a provision of space. And we now enter into the construction planning phase to go ahead and build the hospital with a view to have it open in the fall of 2022. We've kept scalability in mind, recognizing that while on day one, 30 beds is an initial offering, that we have the capacity to turn every administrative space into that building into a patient care space.
The healthcare facility will cater to residents of Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini. DeVoe outlined the scope of services to be offered at the facility.
So clearly urgent care services with up to 10 critical emergency room bays, and then the supporting suite of diagnostics from imaging certainly to potentially molecular laboratory. We envision that at least 2 operating suites will be stood up, as well as a full interventional catheterization lab, commonly referred to as a cath lab, and all of the enabling work to deliver not only the 2 operating suites, but the interventional cath lab on day one has already been concluded. And then finally, that the 30 beds that we stand up in Grand Bahama, that they are state-of-the-art.
He added Doctors Hospital has engaged with local designers.
But to augment their perspectives, we have brought in a world-class peer review team to look at, what is latest and greatest in patient flow? What is the latest and greatest in the way that technology is used in a healthcare facility? In particular, a facility that features a population of second homeowners. And one of the key insights was the ability to intubate and ventilate a patient and to accommodate a patient in the emergency room as they ready for airlift.
When our News Weekend returns, Adelaide wetlands to be a conservation area, plus a new business wants you to let off some steam. We'll tell you the details after this break.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic. The Ministry of Environment is looking to enhance the protection of 2 areas in the Adelaide community. Director of the Forestry Unit, Christopher Russell, explains.
There are 2 areas of protection we want to advance. The first is the MPAs, Marine Protected Areas, which has already been advanced by the government. We've identified significant areas of marine environments that are now protected and are now gazetted. The second phase is the land terrestrial areas of protected areas, and so these wetlands will be part of that system of protection on the land side under the Forestry Act.
Russell adds that they are also looking to preserve wetlands in that community. He says that they are pushing for it to be named a conservation forest.
Adelaide comprises a significant wetland called Corrie Sound, and we shall see today, which is very extensive, and we want to include that as an area of the National Forest Estate, as a conservation forest.
Golden Isles MP Vaughn Miller says it's important that the area be preserved.
Because of its rich heritage, it's ripe for heritage tourism, also ecotourism, and of course cultural tourism. And I was born and raised in Greencastle, Eleuthera, and this area reminds me so much of Greencastle, Wimsey by Bannermantown and areas like that, with a family island feel, a family island look, and for the most part, the residents of the village are concerned and do not want to lose this rich look and heritage and the cultural aspect of it. And so we'd like to preserve that.
The pandemic has been stressful for everyone. Business owner Shantez Turnquest has come up with a smashing way for you to let off some of that pandemic steam at the Break Room 242. What started as an idea 3 years ago while watching television is now a reality. The Break Room 242, located on Joe Farrington Road, has everything you'll need to let off some steam in a safe and recreational environment.
I was watching a TV show and I saw the same kind of concept, and there was a time when I needed something like the break room, and I went ahead and did my own thing, breaking up stuff and all that, and I felt good, and I thought we needed this in the Bahamas.
From smashing glass bottles to televisions and computers, there's just about anything you can imagine there to smash.
You would pick a package, and your package would include your time slot and your number of breakables. And once you get in the room, you totally demolish whatever is in the room. You have a good time. You let loose. There's no reason to hold back. We also offer splash packages that we include paints and different utensils, and you can express yourself in a more artistic form.
Acts during packages are coming soon, according to Turnquist, who says you can even bring some photos to your sessions.
Some of them came in not expecting, I guess, what their experience would have been. And once they come in and they finish their session, they leave, I guess, some lightened with feeling like, something came off their shoulder, a burden was lifted. Some just excited because it was so much fun for them. I just want everybody to just be able to have some place that they can express themselves, a safe place. When talking sometimes just isn't enough because, I'm not against talking. Sometimes you have to talk it out. I've been in a place where I had to talk it out. But sometimes you just have to throw something, and I'm glad that I can offer that for my clients.
Of course, I couldn't visit the break room without having the break room experience. So I suited up, grabbed my crowbar, and got smashing. Find out how you can have your break room experience.
Our website is www.thebreakroom242.com. Instagram, thebreakroom242. Same Facebook, thebreakroom242. And TikTok, thebreakroom242. Now, that "the" is D-A. It's not T-H-A. Remember that.
So to come on our news, cheers to a local bistro's first year. Plus, what's next after the statue of Columbus is vandalized? We'll tell you when our news returns.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
A local restaurant that opened in the height of the pandemic is set to celebrate its one-year anniversary next month. Owner and operator of Bahamian Bistro, Cutel Nemore, says they've kept their doors open through tough economic times thanks to innovative thinking, teamwork, and a loyal customer base.
So next month makes 1 year that we've been open. We've grown tremendously. We realized that persons were very receptive to the concept. It's new. It's the first of its kind in the country. So we're very excited about our 1 year anniversary. We have a lot planned for it as well.
She says the bistro also offers a unique concept, offering one space for multiple restaurants.
We are the food archipelago, where you can find various cuisines provided by different vendors. So it's not just one restaurant. We have a ghost kitchen, so you don't see the vendor. You see the food that we offer.
And what are some of the, I know you have different vendors, but some of the items on the menu? I know you have some food that I can't wait to taste right in front of us right now.
So we have Haitian cuisine, where we sell griot. We have Italian pizza, pasta pizza that we have here. We have American breakfast, Bahamian breakfast, burgers, Mexican cuisine, Bahamian cuisine. So pretty much everything. We have Japanese kokomotos. So we have sushi. We also have yum yum teriyaki bowls. We host a lot of specials. So we have $5 Tuesdays. We have a breakfast happy hour where we have $2 pancakes, 2-for-1 mimosas. On Fridays we have $5 drinks. We give out free shots every hour, as well as $25 all you can drink. We have a lit brunch. We partner with a few persons. That's how we've been able to stay open.
She adds while they have had to adjust their hours from time to time due to the pandemic, they are set to expand their hours thanks to the reopening of the economy.
So we are open Tuesday to Saturday, Tuesday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and on Friday and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Well, it's time to take a look at the most memorable quotes and moments in news this week. The first quote comes from Prime Minister Philip Davis after the statue of Christopher Columbus near Government House was vandalized last week.
I do share and understand some of the sentiments, but this is not the way to express those sentiments by destruction of public property. So we condone it, we do not condone it, and we expect that the person who's responsible will be dealt with in respect according to law.
And the second quote comes from the heartbroken family of missing jet skier Richard Cooper, who has now been missing at sea for 10 days.
He wasn't on a jet ski by himself. He didn't know how to jet ski. He didn't even know. He didn't have a jet ski to ride. So who do we blame? Who takes accountability?
I don't know what to say. All I need to see my baby. His body. That's all. If I could see his body.
He wants Charlie home. Dead or alive, he just wanted home.
As the number of COVID-19 deaths in country surpassed 600 this week, Minister of Health Dr. Michael Darville responded to questions surrounding tighter COVID-19 restrictions. That's quote number 3.
We feel at this particular time we are okay to the point that we do not need to bring restrictions back to where they are. But I can say this much, we're watching it extremely closely, and in the event that we feel that we need to execute more measures, we will.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Georgie O'Bain, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.